Welcome back to Tales from the Shelf. We got a weird one today. Terry Gilliam's The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, an interesting blend of fantasy, comedy, and really strange dark themes. This film is also well known as the final role of Heath Ledger, who died during the film's shooting period, tragically. With a beloved director and a lot of big names attached, it's kind of strange that this movie doesn't get talked about very much. Well, maybe there's a reason for that. Trying to describe the plot is a real challenge, so let me do my best to try and summarize it. Dr. Parnassus runs a traveling sideshow where anybody who enters his Imaginarium box will be taken into a world of their own thoughts and feelings, but there's a catch. Anyone who enters the box will be given a choice: face the difficult challenges that ultimately lead to self-improvement, or turn to blissful ignorance, which hilariously always ends with them dying in an explosion. While the first and more difficult choice is offered up by Parnassus himself, the easier choice is offered by the devil, who has a long history of betting with Parnassus, and now, if the doctor can convince 5 people to pick his more difficult route, then his teenage daughter will belong to the devil, referred to as Mr. Nick in the film. The daughter rescues a mysterious man named Tony, played by Ledger, who offers to help Parnassus beat Mr. Nick. But of course, nothing is easy when you make a deal with the devil. Now, let me tell you, you think that was a lot? Man, that was only like half of everything that happens in this movie. I can't even go into more detail because that would be giving the plot away. But the bottom line is that this movie's nuts. Maybe a little too nuts for its own good. There is so much going on in this movie, so many characters, so much backstory and plot, it becomes a bit much. Especially as the movie goes on, where, naturally, the plot becomes more complicated. Now, the film is obviously one big metaphor for Gilliam's own imagination and wanting to express his thoughts on his own aging self and career, and the importance of storytelling. And for that, I think the film works fine enough. I think this movie has a lot of really great, clever ideas, but with most of them not really working together in cohesion. The Imaginarium scenes are really fun and creative, but they're bogged down by distractingly not great effects that clash with the more down-to-earth scenes, as well as some friggin' nightmare-fuel CGI. The story wants to be a fun, lighthearted celebration of imagination, but then the film presents some very dark real-world themes. This movie throws so much at you constantly, and I have just no idea what to make of it. But there are plenty of positives. There are a lot of great actors here, including an early appearance by Andrew Garfield. After Ledger passed, they brought in Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell to finish his scenes, and they're implemented in pretty well, I'd say, so I think the movie handled Ledger's death about as well as it could. Mr. Nick is played by Tom Waits, which is honestly a perfect casting choice. What is a better role for Waits than the actual devil? Christopher Plummer as Parnassus is probably the weakest performance here. He's not bad, but he's mostly just here as a stand-in for Gilliam, with not a lot of his own agency. Vern Troyer is here too, nice to see him get a speaking role for once. Although there is an infamous scene where he's painted to look like an African child. I got no comment on that one. And overwhelming or not, this movie is truly a showcase for what Terry Gilliam can come up with when he's just given the chance. He may express that in some films better than others, but you can't deny his passion for storytelling, and if this film is how he wants to portray that passion, then who am I to deny it? This film is truly a mixed bag. You have some great performances and some wonderful creativity from a master of imagination. But you also have a plot that just doesn't know what it wants to be, and imagery that severely dates the film. But I truly do encourage you to watch this one for yourself, just so you can form your own opinion. It deserves to be seen, even if you do maybe ultimately dislike it.